Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another SLG Meetup. What an exciting day to bring you another successful guest in the luxury space. In this case, we're gonna have Nick Neacsu. He's a luxury real estate agent in Vancouver. In fact, he's one of the top agents in the area with over $1 billion sold in real estate sales, which is a lot. So he's gonna tell us all about the different techniques of what he has developed over the years to get to that point. He is working with Angel Hasman and Associates, and he's also the host of the podcast Real Talks. So let's get him in. All right, my man, what's happening?
Doing great.
A little bit of difficulties this morning or what?
Pardon me?
A little bit of difficulties with the Instagram? It's going a bit slow?
No. I guess I'm getting older.
Nah, come on. Listen, you're in Vancouver. How are things over there at the moment?
Snowy. It's very snowy. Yeah, I just came back from Cancun and it was 32 degrees, and now I came back to minus 12, and now it's about 0. Yeah, it's snowy. But it's normal, I guess.
Well, yeah, I guess it's normal there. For us here in Miami, it's beautiful every day.
I bet. It's always beautiful. I don't even see any rain there at all.
Oh, no, it's very nice. But let me ask you, so when you face this moment of the year where it's snowy, it's cold, it's windy, and you in particular, you're showing houses, how do you keep that mindset of like, all right, no matter what's going on outside with this weather, I still need to get up, go show houses. Like, how do you build that mentality?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So yeah, like the business is showing houses, but if you can't get into the houses, buyers cancel showing requests, and it's just normal. So it can get, especially in January, we just want to kick off the year with a bang. When we have, say, a snowstorm, it gives you an opportunity to sort of look at goal setting again and look at your planning and your business plan and focus on the internals. And oftentimes we don't have that time when the market's really busy. So when you get this, slowdown based on Mother Nature, it's actually nice to sort of able to look at your business and make sure that your goals are set and your focus is aligned with your goals.
I love that, because a lot of people, this is the two type of people, right? The one like yourself that sells over $1 billion in sales, and then there's the other ones that are not there because their mindset is completely opposite. You decide to take advantage of something like that versus other people that complain and then they just don't do nothing with it. They chill with the heat.
Yeah, I would say that it's not like anybody was born with a super tough power. It's something that you learn, and it's a lot of it's trial and error and life experience. So, the people who haven't sold $1 billion in their career, I'm 13 years in my career now. I can tell you that I wasn't on pace in my first 2 years. I was very much not even thinking about that number. I was thinking of 10 million. Yeah. But just building and creating your own disciplines. And part of this downtime for me is resetting my disciplines and focusing on those, because that will take me through for the rest of the year.
You mentioned something very interesting, and I was just recently reading a quote by James Clear from the Atomic Habits book. I don't know if you've read it, but it says that habits is the compound interest in self-development. And I think that in order for you, as you mentioned, to keep on developing all these different skill sets that you've acquired over the years, it's more about the habits that you've built. So what are some of the habits that have helped you build that compound interest towards your success?
Yeah, and you know what? It's not there's not one answer that is the golden nugget. It changes. So, at the very beginning of my career, the habit was work every single day, show up, double open houses on the weekends, and door knocking. That built my first 2 or 3 years of my career, my book. Now, 13 years later, the habits change a little bit, where I show up to the office every morning, but now it's health, mindset, mental health, investing in my own personal happiness outside of course, business, which makes me happy as well. Playing tennis, hockey, going to yoga, gym, just being more well-rounded, but it takes time to get there. So, I know a lot of young agents, follow you. They, aspiring people follow you because you're very inspiring. But, these things don't happen overnight. And the one thing you cannot teach is hard work. And every person that I've talked to that's been successful, it's never been an overnight success, and it's always been because of hard work. So teach yourself the habit of hard work.
I like that a lot. You know, wasn't it Warren Buffett that said it took me 20 years for my overnight success?
Yeah.
So a lot of people see that person online. It's like, oh my God, this guy all of a sudden, boom, blew up. But it's about everything that you've done over all those years consistently that took you there. And you're fair by saying that, you know, it's sometimes the key formula is just work hard. So tell me, because you mentioned two things, right? About mindfulness. This is something that in order for you to be successful long-term, you cannot just put all your eggs in one basket. And by that, I mean just doing real estate. You got to also diversify your time and energy and focus on your physical and health, your spirituality, your activities, and so on, your relationships. And you've mastered that, because otherwise, yes, even though you love your job, if you don't take care of the other areas, you're going to be all of a sudden too unbalanced to keep working long term. So that's one thing that I wanted to just reemphasize for people to keep that in mind, the wheel of life, which I remember that's something that you mentioned previously when we talked in the past. But also I wanted to touch base on a really important point. 13 years in the industry, right? You've been working with a lot of clients, hundreds, thousands, I don't know, but a lot of clients throughout all these years. How do you maintain the relationships alive with all these people? How do you do this follow-up game? How do you nurture these relationships? Because you said something very, very valid, that you don't see those relationships turn into deals right away. Sometimes it might take years. So how do you keep all those balls or relationships up in the air?
Yeah, I'd like to say that it's some like AI technology that I have in the background, but it really is not. It's my book, and I have my reminders. I go through, you know, I have a whiteboard with all my, you know, leads that will probably convert or have an opportunity to convert this year. Then I have my another list of my clientele that I'll just go touch base every month and just check in and see how they're doing. I don't hound them. It's very, I guess, very honest in a more authentic way, rather than like, hey, are you looking to buy or sell this year? It's just more about checking in. Hey, how are you doing? How can I help you? If it's, you know, how's life? You know, tell me about, you know, tell me about Christmas. You know, just talking about just human nature, human being conversations.
Right.
Understanding that, maintaining that you're the expert in the industry. So don't ever forget that. You better follow up, you know, general conversation with the ability to answer questions, because you have to be the expert, especially now with all the information out there. You know, there's a lot. It becomes a little bit more difficult to be the ultimate expert. So just be the master of your craft, but also just be genuine, and people will trust you. It's a game of trust, really. Trust is number one. Two is the transaction is just the result of that relationship.
Right. Who was it? Grant Cardone that said that the difference, I mean, is the contract and the contact, the only difference is the R that stands for relationship. And you just need to make sure that you're building that relationship. And in order to build it, people need to know you, like you, and then they will trust you. Now, people, in order to see results, as you mentioned, might take 2-3 years, right? It requires that consistency. How did you manage to not burn out? Or maybe you did, but how did you continue? Because that happens to a lot of people. They start very, very strong. They invest in their videos, the things, they don't see the results they want, because everybody wants instant gratification. And then they shift into something else. How do you stay in the game?
Yeah, I agree. If you want instant gratification, real estate is probably not your profession of choice. Yeah. Because it's definitely not instant, and sometimes it doesn't even feel. It's like my mentor said that, you know, once he told a story where an agent complained to him about not being thanked for his service, and he goes, you know, sometimes you're not paid to be thanked, just paid to get the job done, and that could just be, you know, I find that realtors hold this hat of the therapist that they don't want to hold, but when you build that trust with somebody, you know, other things come out, and you become the sounding board for issues, and that's probably a compliment to you know, the position that you put yourself in and trust. But to answer your question, if you want to expedite your successes, especially a younger agent, or, you know, you're having a harder time getting into luxury space, work with somebody in that space that spent, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a brand, do a deal with them. Just say, I'm going to utilize your brand. I'm going to door knock. I'm going to do open houses for you. I'm going to leverage you, and we'll split everything 50-50. That person in a heartbeat would take that deal all day long, and that barrier of who are you, which is the biggest barrier in your first 2 years. I've never heard of you. Why should I use you? Next thing you know, you have instant credibility.
My question to you, when it comes to building your sphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be of clients, partners, because you're in Vancouver, but you work with a lot of different agents from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you keep on building this network, and how important has it been for you?
The network's very important. Actually, I will. Social media is a very good way to stay top of mind to other agents. It's a very good way to, especially Instagram. I find it's kind of like the second MLS in a way. I think it's a little bit more powerful than a website in terms of getting the information out quick. So, when I have a new listing and I put it out on social media, the intent is I'm trying to reach other agents with clients. I'm not necessarily trying to get new clients off it or get a direct buyer. I want my sphere, other agents that I respect, and who I trust and who trust me, to if this checks off a box, they can call me right away, or they can DM me. They can do whatever they need to get in, and I'll get them into the house or property right away. So I find that social media is a great part of that professional sphere. LinkedIn is becoming pretty good too, and then events. I mean, I'm guilty. I'm very analytical. I'm a natural introvert, not a born extrovert. So I have to really practice getting out there, and I'm very intentional about it. But going to events, or I picked up hockey, in a country club, just so I can get around a new sphere of people that I've never really played ice hockey before. And I'm playing tennis too in a very similar sphere. So I'm just trying to get out there doing things that I love to do, but also with the opportunity that maybe I can meet somebody who could eventually translate into a client at some point. But first, to become friends.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's very interesting to start building relationships based on passions as well. And open yourself to utilize free services. Like right now, social media is free. You can just get in and start reaching out to people that you might have a great connection with, whether it's because of the lifestyle or the type of products that you work with. So really, really powerful thoughts, and I agree with you. Now, let me ask you, because we always ask the same question, and the answers always vary, but what is it really luxury to you?
Yeah. Luxury to me is a service and a lifestyle, but it can, for me personally, it's just being happy. Like I am in a world where people love expensive watches, expensive cars. It's not really what I love, but I can appreciate it. I love nice houses as well, and I can appreciate that people have passions around that. For me, luxury is having the ability to go on a vacation for 2 weeks and go scuba diving and doing fun things that I love to do, and having that freedom to do so, and based on the hard work that I do. And I don't have a yacht, I have a boat, and I go fishing in the summer, and I bring friends out just for cruises. And luxury for me is a very authentic freedom of time, and freedom of and having financial freedom as well.
I enjoy a lot this conversation. There were a lot of golden nuggets that I'm sure people are going to appreciate. So whoever is listening or watching to this, please follow Nick. Reach out to him if you need anything real estate related in Vancouver, and definitely just see everything that he's up to, because he's a superstar. So I appreciate you, my friend. Any last thoughts that you would like to share with us?
No, not necessarily. I think I love giving back. I love helping. So if anybody has any questions about real estate, I will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything you've shared with us today. And I wish you a successful year. Stay warm in the cold Vancouver. If you get too tired of it, come here to Miami. We're always welcoming.
I want to. I'm going to. I'll make that happen. The next couple of years, I'll make it happen. I want to go visit.
I'll keep you accountable on that.
Perfect.
All right.
You bet.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.